Hello, everybody. Welcome to Write Something Weird, your favorite literary show where we talk about creating cool art and building bookish communities. I'm here today with my wonderful guest and dear friend, Stephen Brockschmidt. Hey, Stephen.
Hey Sophie, thanks so much for having me today.
Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. So, Stephen, you have done something really hard and really cool and really amazing. You wrote a book.
Thank God. Never thought I'd see the day.
You did it. So you finished the book. You're in the editing process now. Is that right?
Yep, that's correct. So this is a whole other thing now.
I like that you have
But
both like the joy and defeat of a writer on your
yeah,
face.
yeah. Just
I
in the
think
span of 10 seconds, you're like,
10
yep.
seconds. We all feel that way.
Yeah.
What surprised you most about writing a book, a complete book?
Hmm. A couple things. I think starting out just with I don't know, I think the joy of writing the first draft, just where we've gotten the advice, just get it down on paper, just like
Yeah.
get it written, and then you can fix everything later. But just that first draft process of just how fun it was to write, just the
Okay.
thinking and finding inspiration in weird places. I'm sure you do the same
Yeah.
thing, just like someone will be saying something. I think what really surprised me is just how aware I became of just everything going on around me, like the way people were talking and
Interesting.
just little details in nature and just finding things like that, it's going to go in my book. That's going to help me describe a scene
Yeah.
or, become a character trait or something. So I think that really
Yeah.
surprised me was just how it was a very grounding experience, even though, you spend so much time in your head trying to create these worlds and these characters. It was still really, um, it was grounding. It was a fun experience. Fun, but also very, very hard. Fun
Yes.
with an
Yes.
asterisk, like in
It is a
quotes.
painful thing, writing a book. Well, I
Yeah,
love,
just
go ahead. Yeah, I love what you said about thinking. You mentioned like a lot of the process was thinking, and I
Mhm.
think that's something that a lot of people don't realize until they're actually in the writing process. I know for me, like I will spend time thinking about like how am I going to describe the character? How am I going to describe the space in which they are in? Did I make the right choice with this dialogue? And like there's some second guessing there sometimes. Did it surprise you how much thinking goes into writing?
Yes, I'm just I feel like 90% of all of this was just thinking, like thinking through. Do you have a playlist that you listen to when you're writing, like that helps you imagine certain scenes? Because that's what helps me with the
That's
thinking,
really
like just
cool.
thinking with like a soundtrack along
I
with
will
it.
do that with certain stories, not all of them. Sometimes I'm like, no, I just need to write in silence.
Mhm.
But I think that a playlist is a great idea because it kind of helps you set the mood, especially
Mhm.
if you're writing something that demands a mood to be set, right? Because your book is kind of like a space odyssey. And
Mhm.
I haven't read the whole thing, but I imagine that there are sections where your main character is maybe nervous or
Yeah.
uncomfortable. Is that fair?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So just thinking of those, there's like a soundtrack or a song for like every scene, especially the tense ones and like the really
Yeah.
exciting, I think. And I'm like you too. I really can't write and listen to music at the same time. I can think at the same time and listen to music,
Mhm.
and it helps me with my inspiration, but for actual writing, I can't do it. I have to be in silence.
Yeah.
But I spend a lot
And
of time, just thinking how much time we spend in our cars. I think that's where I do just so much thinking.
interesting.
Just so much, yeah, on the commute, driving on a
Yeah.
trip somewhere or on a plane. And so, yeah,
Well, and
just
I
all the
think that's a really nice thing to point out as well. Writing doesn't have to be like just this chunk of time. I think
Mhm.
a lot of newer writers think, well, I don't have an hour to dedicate. I don't have 2 hours. But they might have, 15 or 20 minutes driving to work where they can do some thinking,
Hmm.
or maybe like speaking out loud, like transcribing their book, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like one thing that I like to do, I love how you talk about just finding that time in the day, especially having a job and then having
Yeah.
other responsibilities and life and stuff. Like, how do you find time to develop a character and do all of these things? So, one thing probably makes me look like a crazy person, especially when I'm at a stoplight or something, or like driving on the road, is just like pretending you're on a road trip with your characters.
Oh, interesting.
You're like, ooh, like, like would one be annoying? Who would be in charge of the snacks or picking the music?
Yeah.
Like all these things that you can ask yourself. But things like that, like it's really easy to find time for that and to really develop things that way.
Well, I think that's a very good writing practice to take your characters and put them somewhere they don't belong, like on a road trip.
Yes.
Um, you know, I write a lot of like vampires. So I'm even with this conversation, I'm like, what would vampires be like on a road trip, right? Would they fight over when they were going to drive or who had to
Mhm.
drive or what are the snacks? Is the snack a bag of blood? I don't know.
See, the great great question. Do they only drive at night? I would assume so, unless like the car is tinted enough. I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
It's a fun
think
question.
that question comes back as well to writing as play and
Mhm.
having writing be like, you and I both find writing very joyful, I think it's fair to say. And when you approach writing with this idea of, I'm just playing a game with myself and with my readers and with the other writers, and it is fun. And I get to kind of manipulate things and twist things and create things and just have a good time with it. And I
Mhm.
think in a world that lacks so much whimsy, it is a whimsical space in which to be.
Yes. Oh, I like that word, whimsical, and
Me
just yeah,
too.
just an escape from, you know, any day-to-day monotony. It's just
Yeah,
makes you think of, yeah, just the world around you and everything
absolutely.
and finding
So,
joy.
what was your favorite thing about writing your book? If you had to choose like one favorite thing, creating
Mhm.
the characters, writing a certain scene, your playlist.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think for me, this kind of ties into just a very broad thing, and just thinking about developing everything was just the
Mhm.
world building of it.
Yeah,
Especially with a space story. I know you've written sci-fi too, so just the joy of finding how all these characters work on this world, like what
yeah.
it looks like. Um, I think too, another favorite thing that I can think of relating to building a world is how elements from my own past and my own education and things I've done professionally have kind of come back that,
Okay,
it's been a long time since I've thought about it. Like when I went for my master's in teaching English as a teaching English to speakers of other languages. As part of that, I studied linguistics a little bit, and phonetics especially was something I really enjoyed. And so now thinking of this whole space story and these characters going back to the linguistic side of things and just like trying to use that in my world building for
yeah,
just how they talk with their, the physiology of their faces and their facial features and how it would sound
yeah.
when they would talk and just making it like as realistic as possible for all these alien languages and things like that and sounds and um yeah, so that's really been just a fun part to kind of revisit and have like, oh, everything I've learned has been useful in
Wait,
some
that's
way.
nice.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I
Yeah,
never thought I would be using something I learned, 10,
in your
12
fiction.
years ago in my fiction. So I think
Yeah.
that's for, anyone who wants to be a writer. There's so many things, no matter what your career has been or what you've done,
Mhm.
things that can make you a, a better writer and make your
Yeah,
worlds realistic. So
absolutely. Well, and I think that's a very interesting thing to bring up. So this is a story you don't know, which is
Mhm.
rare because you know most of my stories. I went to the doctor one time 15 years ago, and
Uh-huh.
I told the doctor, yeah, I'm a writer. I write zombie books. And he said, "Really? I wrote a zombie book. I'll email it to you. And he emailed me this zombie book, and it was about a doctor living in the apocalypse. And like, then he had written like a guide to like staying alive if zombies come. And he pulled like all of his medical knowledge and like wrote this story with these characters. And it's so interesting writing, you're not limited to being someone who's only been a writer,
Mhm.
right? So
Exactly.
if someone has a background in, linguistics or marketing or whatever, being a swimming instructor, you can write a story and pull from those things that you know.
Mhm. Exactly. That's so fun. I'm so glad he sent you that story.
Oh
And
yeah.
so, like, kind of thinking of finding a writing community. I know we've talked a little bit about that, but
Yeah,
just, finding, talking with people who, you may have never known that they were a writer, and then they share this other side
absolutely.
of themselves that's so creative and awesome. But yeah,
Yeah.
especially, yeah, I think we're all experts in something, depending on what that is.
Yeah,
Whatever certain roles have been, like there's a place you can come from. You
for
can do it
sure.
quite well.
Now, you brought up community. You and I are actually part of a very small, very wonderful writing community. Can you talk a little bit about our community and how that functions?
Yeah, absolutely. So, kind of like how you were talking with your doctor and how he talked about his story, we
Yeah.
were trying to remember the first day we had talked about, that, oh, we were writing. I think I had already known that you were a writer, but I had never shared anything about that or knew
Yeah.
one of our colleagues. But yeah, we just started talking one day, and then the professor that we worked with her, and then we all just decided to meet up for coffee one day in Parkville, and just start writing. And just
Yeah.
like whatever it is we were working on. So it's just really wonderful. We meet every couple of months. We go up there and it's fun because it feels like a little trip. It's not
Yeah.
somewhere that I visit very often.
Exactly.
And so we'll share just about our lives and what we're working on and bounce ideas off of each other. And that has been so helpful, especially with actually finishing my book because it's like, oh gosh, now I have people who hold me accountable. They're like, you can't start working on chapter 15 at this point.
Yeah.
Within 4 months. So it's been great to have that sense of accountability and, um,
Yeah.
just that I'm also, you know, being inspired by you guys and trying to
Oh,
also continue to do my best at my work and
yeah.
better writer. So,
Well, and I know, I think I speak for everyone that we also feel inspired by you. And I think that's one of the things that's so wonderful about our community. It is very small and mighty. We don't meet all the time. As you know, as you said, we only meet every couple of months. And I think that's really important to point out. If you're looking for a writing community, it doesn't have to be every single Sunday, it doesn't have to be every single month. I think a lot of writers have this idea that a community is like a huge commitment.
mhm,
And so I would say you don't have to just have one community, you can have a lot of them. And it's okay to have a community where, yeah, every couple months you get together with your two friends and you read something you wrote, you share about your lives, you catch up, you give each other ideas and feedback and encouragement. And sometimes it's just, wow, you did great. Like this sentence is so cool. I absolutely love it. I can see everything that you wrote. Like I can just visualize it. And sometimes it's suggestions like, oh, maybe
mhm.
if you tweak this and this scene needs more raccoons, maybe like or more
Yeah.
squirrels.
Mhm. Yeah, more squirrels, more things, more yeah, just having those extra pairs of eyes on it is
Yeah.
so helpful. Just because, especially writing something longer like a book, it's like, oh my gosh, it's just it all starts to kind of blend together. At
Yeah,
the end, you need someone else to take a look at things.
exactly.
Um, I love too, we all have such different styles, I feel like, of writing. Like we all have, you know, just the stories that we like to tell and how we
Mhm.
describe things. And it's just so it makes me think of like how I can write differently and how I can make my characters
Yeah.
deeper. And yeah, it's just so great to see what you guys do and to be inspired that way.
Yeah. So, what would you say to somebody who wants to start a writing community? Because I will say for us, I don't think any of us went into this with the intention of this is our writing community. It was
Yeah,
more
no.
like, oh, you like to write?
No.
I like to write. Let's go to a
Mhm.
coffee shop and we'll write together. So, how should people go about starting a community, or what should they know?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I mean, the great place to start is just to, I like how you said, it'd be kind of weird to come on. Do you want to be part of a community? Do you want to be like just coming on strong?
Yeah.
I think just, when people, especially, if you're working, you have a job, you have a different group of people who are colleagues, maybe you're not quite
Mhm.
friends with them. Maybe you are best friends with them, but just sharing, what you're doing over the weekend or what you're doing in the evening. A lot of
Yeah.
times people ask that question um, again and again, like, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? So just mention that you're writing something. And they'll, that's kind of how we, you know,
Yeah.
started was knowing that, oh, I'm working on writing. Well, I'm writing too. And then, oh,
Yeah.
she's writing also. So we're like, oh, we should hang out sometime. Just and we can write, or I'm going to go here. So yeah, just to not be intimidated by that, just to share it. Just
Yeah.
casually, if they're like, "Oh, I hate writing," then they're not going to be party of the community. They're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I get," then you know that that's not a person
Yeah.
going to
Exactly.
be in your
Well,
group. But you may be surprised, just like your doctor. You have written a whole book or multiple books,
yeah.
and they may love it
Yeah.
just as much as you. And yeah, I love what you said earlier too about how you don't have to meet all the time. Like you don't have to stress yourself out with like a commitment, but
Yeah.
just what we've done is just always having a date on the calendar, always planning the
Yeah.
next one before we go, even if it's 4 or 5 months in the future.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's always something
Yeah.
that's good. So
Yeah. That
just
works.
stick
Yeah,
to
that works very well for us. I know all three of us are busy. We have jobs, we have lives, we have hobbies, pets, like all of these different things that can be distracting. And there have been times when we've like had to reschedule, and that's totally fine. But yeah, before we end our hangouts, we all get our calendars out and we go, when can we meet? And it's always a challenge because we all seem
it.
to travel on like opposite weekends and
Yeah.
we're always, going all over the place, but we get it on the calendar and we commit to meeting up with each other. And we always bring something new. And it's to me it's been quite a joy having this community and knowing I know you're going to give me honest feedback, but I
Mhm.
also know that you're going to give me feedback and you're not going to say, oh, it was fine if it wasn't. You're going to tell me what you think.
Right, exactly. Like I will go line by line, like us. And we do, we actually give like actual feedback, which that's so helpful. It's
Yeah,
so important. It's just great. Like I'm actually going to read it.
exactly, exactly.
And yeah, it's just so much fun. I love getting to meet with you guys. And
Yeah. I love it too. And one thing that we do in our community, which is really fun, is we do try to stretch ourselves as writers. So sometimes we will give each other an assignment. So one time we said, before we meet, we'll each write a poem. And we had the same theme, but we each ended up writing about very different things.
Mhm.
We've also done short stories that all started with the same sentence. We've writing as play. We have played together. Stephen, do you have a favorite project we've done together as part of our writing group?
I think, the one thing that really stretched me and made me think was writing a poem. Like I haven't written a
Yeah.
poem in years. It's
Mm,
been years and years. And that was really hard. I was like, oh gosh, I don't like the structure of a poem. Like
yeah.
how do you even do this? But it was
Yeah.
great. I had been working on that, sci-fi book for so long that I really like it's kind of got me out of that space. And it was fun to just write something different.
Exactly. Well,
It's
and I
really
feel
it
like
was fun. Yeah.
stretching ourselves as writers in that way, it's like if you always go to the gym and you always do cardio, that's great. But sometimes you have to lift weights. And I think
Yeah.
it's the same thing. I think it's the same thing with writing.
Mhm.
You know, if we're always writing these long stories, we have a lot of space. And when you're writing a poem, you do not have space. You have to get to the point. And
Mhm.
so playing with words in that way, it's a challenge. And I also struggled with my poem. I believe the challenge was to write a winter poem.
Mhm.
And my mind went blank. I was like, I don't know what winter is. What's a poem? I've never seen snow.
Mhm.
Like it was very hard. Christmas, what's
So
that? I don't
hard.
know.
It's like I couldn't tell you what snow looks like. I don't know.
I've never seen it.
It's so
Snowman.
hard.
It was, yeah.
I can tell you.
It was very hard. So, you know a lot about writing and you've tried writing many different things. And again, you wrote a whole book, which is so cool.
Well, thank
What
you.
what advice would you give to new writers who are nervous to put themselves out there?
Yeah. Well, I think just kind of like what we've talked about is just sharing that you've written something that you like to write
Yeah.
with people around you, with your colleagues and your friends, and starting with that community. Another thing too, recently I got to see your table, your booth at that awesome event, and meeting other writers there too who have their
Yeah.
own other writing communities. So starting there is a good place. Just going to events, maybe meeting an author at an
Yeah.
event, just seeing it in person and envisioning yourself there one day, because you'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just not be afraid to start small to like just write a short story or write something. Even just a
Yeah.
paragraph of something. Just being consistent over time will get you there
I
eventually.
love that.
You know the friends
That
you'll make along the way, and then you're on a
the
podcast.
friends you'll make along the way. You'll be on the
Yeah,
pod.
and then
Thanks
you
for being
can,
on the podcast.
of course.
Stephen, you have been a wonderful guest. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Sophie. It was a pleasure, and I can't wait to see you again.
I can't wait to see you soon. Bye.
Bye.